Walla Stamping. Thanks for joining me today. And I have another card this week. I said in my tutorial yesterday that I don't do a lot of cards, but I had put a little teaser out there, I suppose, with this card talking about the 3 new items that are available with Sale-A-Bration starting on February the 21st. And I've had some interest in this card and some people were wanting to know how to make it. Now, one of those items which I used to do the stamping with is the Make a Medallion stamp set. This is absolutely gorgeous. I love it, and I'm really hoping that this is something that will stay around even after Sale-A-Bration is over and done with. There are love, friends, and thanks as far as words and sentiments, and I've used the friend on here. And then there's 3 little small embellishments that you can use in different ways, and then the 2 larger stamps that make up the medallion as well. And the other item that I'm going to be using is the Glimmer Paper Assortment Pack. Now in here, and y'all know me, I love anything that sparkles and glitters and shines, but there's 3 different colors in here. There's Mint Macaron, there is Sweet Sugar Plum, and Bermuda Bay Glimmer Paper. So because I love all things glittery, I'm hoping that these colors will be added to their regular catalog list as well. Now, the card that I've made today, I've actually used craft cardstock for the back and used a doily as well. And so let me just show you everything you're going to need to create this card. So first of all, you're going to want to have a piece of craft cardstock, and our craft cardstock is nice and thick and heavy. I really, really like it. This is cut to 10 by 4 1/4, and you're going to score it and fold it at 5 inches. And then I'm going to be using the Bermuda Bay, which is from the Glimmer Paper Assortment Pack, and it's cut to 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, Whisper White 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, Pool Party cardstock 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. I tried to keep these measurements the same just to make it easy for you. Then you'll need a piece of Bermuda Bay, and this is cut to 1 1/2 by 1 1/2, and then your delicate white doilies. And something that I just want to point out to you is you can actually color these with your inks. If you don't want it to be white, you can actually make it a different color. You're also going to need a couple of pieces of Whisper White for the inside of your card. These are cut to 4 by 4 3/4. And as you can see what I've done here, I've used one panel on the back of the card to cover up where my ribbon comes around, and then I've used another one down here and put a little stamp on the corner. You can put that there or not. If you decide to do that, you'll just want to use your Bermuda Bay ink and stamp that right there in the corner. Also, another item I forgot to mention that we're going to be using in this card is the metallic ribbon combo pack, and I'm going to be using the Whisper White and Silver. You'll need your Versamark and embossing buddy, some Whisper White. Now this is optional. I'll get to that when we do this portion of the card. Your white emboss powder, and I have my stamps on a E and a G block. You'll need fast fuse and some snail and your bone folder. And then I'm using the Circles Framelit dies to cut out the medallions. Let me move all this out of the way. To cut out the medallion on this card. And the sizes that I'm going to be using are of the scallops, the 1 1/8 and the 2 3/4, and then of the regular circles I'm using the 2 3/8 and the 2 5/8 circles. Now while we're talking about this, I have an extra set of these layering circles framelit dies that I got way back when I first became a demonstrator, and I would like to give them away to someone. The way that you get entered to win those is by going over to my blog, leaving a comment under the post for this card. You'll get entered to win 1 time for your comment. If you make a purchase with me, then your name will be entered 5 times to win those. Also, while you're over there making comments, when you make a comment, you'll get entered to win the kit to make this card with as well. So let me get cleaned up and we'll get started making this card. So the first thing I think that we'll do is go ahead and get our stamping and embossing done. To do that, I'm going to be using the larger medallion, and the one that I'm using today is going to be this one. That's my personal favorite. And the way that I've done mine is I've used the Versamark ink. I'm just putting my embossing buddy on here so that my embossing powder only sticks to what I want it to. Use your Versamark and ink up your stamp. And I ink it up really, really well. Then, this is what I was saying, you don't have to do this other part, but I like how white and vivid it makes it look when I do. So I'm going to take my Whisper White ink and I'm going to apply that right over the top of my Versamark and then stamp my image. And I like to hold it down there for just a couple of seconds to make sure that the Whisper White and the Versamark transfers off to my paper. And you're not going to see that Whisper White very dark at the moment, but it really does help this white embossing powder just pop right off the page. Tap off the excess. Okay. Then what we'll do, let me get this back in the container real quick. What I did secondly was I stamped that same image again. So I'm going to clean off my stamp and then redo this. This time when I stamp, I'm going to just concentrate on getting this portion of the stamp in the center of my Bermuda Bay. Get my Versamark on there. Then my Whisper White. I forgot to do the embossing buddy on this. Oh well. We'll see what happens. That looks fine. I don't think anything got stuck to where I didn't want it to. So let's go ahead and heat emboss these. Don't those look gorgeous? I love it. Now, what we're going to do next is, and I'm going to put my embossing buddy on there this time, right there in the center. I have the word friend mounted here, and what I'm going to try to do is get it stamped right in the center between these two little flourishes right here. So I'm going to dip that into my Versamark and my Whisper White ink. More white embossing powder. Get rid of the excess. I hold mine with tweezers because it's such a small piece of paper. I don't want to get the heat gun to my fingers and burn myself. Alright, so there's your stamping done. Now let's get our big shot over here and get all of our circles cut out. I would say it's probably getting about time for me to get some new plates on here, wouldn't you? So let's go ahead and get our glimmer paper cut out with the largest scallop, and then our Whisper White is cut out. Make sure I have the right circle. Yep, right there we go. So let's run both of these through. Then what you'll do next is take your stamped friend and line that small scallop circle around that. I've got white ink on me. Then take your larger medallion, now that all of our pieces are cut out, we can start assembling our card. What you'll want to do first is take a piece of your metallic ribbon and some of your fast fuse, and I've just chosen to put this ribbon right in the very center. What you'll want to do, and you can just eyeball this, just take your fast fuse and figure out about where the center of your card is. If you want to be precise, by all means use a ruler, but I just want to eyeball it. Stick your ribbon down into that fast fuse, run it around your card on the front, bring it around the back, and adhere it on this other side. Then at this point, we'll go ahead and put our white paper in. For this, you can use snail or you can use fast fuse, either one. I'm just going to use some snail for this. Well, it just ran out to the end, so I'll switch over to fast fuse. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stamp this so that you can see how I accomplished that. I didn't mention the Bermuda Bay ink in the beginning of the tutorial, but if you choose to stamp the inside of your card, that's the color you'll want. I just use this same stamp. All you need to do for this is just ink up a portion of your stamp. Then come in here and stamp just the very corner. Just like that. Real easy. And like I said, you can leave that out. You don't have to do this. Then for the top of your card, you'll want to layer everything. So the way that I've done this is putting the scallop first, attaching that with fast fuse. Next, you'll want to attach your pool party stamped image on top of your Whisper White. Then attach your friend image to the top of your pool party using dimensionals. Just get that centered up where the image below is covered. Then you'll want to flip this over and put some dimensionals on the back of your Whisper White and attach it to your glimmer paper. And what I try to do is I try to get my scallops lined up in such a way that I can mimic the direction that those are going with the direction of my stamped image, if that even made sense. So in other words, you see that I have the point of this portion of my image going up, and then it's following right along to the small point of the end of this scallop right here. Just flip your doily over, put some fast fuse in the center there. You'll have to be careful because the doily is delicate, and if you get too aggressive with your fast fuse, you could tear your doily. But there's tons of them in a package, so if you tear one, you've got plenty of backups. Here are the two cards for you. I really feel that these have a country look to them, and I love the doilies and the little bit of glimmer that you get from the glimmer paper and the metallic ribbon. So I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial today. Be sure to hop on over to my website, leave comments on today's project to be entered to win the kit and the Layering Circles framelit dies. Also, while you're there, sign up for my newsletter. It comes out once a month, and there's ideas in there for new projects and special deals and sales that either I'm promoting or news from Stamping Up. And I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to reach 3,000 subscribers by June, and I'm only about a third of the way there. So if you would not mind subscribing to my YouTube channel, I would truly appreciate it. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll be talking to you soon.